Hello. So here we are today. We're going to talk about the art of simple and gentle goal setting so we can make your healing inevitable. Because that's what I desire for you. I desire for you to feel completely unencumbered, feel free, feel able to be in a joyful place, that you are able to focus more on your purpose and why you're here on this planet than to be schlepping through symptoms. And so, or just really annoyed with certain things that aren't panning out for you because they aren't coming together. So we want to get this goal setting underway. Now, if you have, oh, my computer's starting to freeze. If you have the desire to avoid stress, to avoid anguish, to avoid ill health, if you are kind of sick and tired of those mental and emotional drains that can set in when you continually miss your goals, then today is going to be great for you. Reducing your susceptibility to burnout and overwhelm is a key portion when you are able to actually get those goals and achieve them. And when you know how to approach this, everything feels a lot easier on your whole system, on your body, on your mind, on your soul. So I want you to stop getting lost in complication. I want you to stop feeling stalled on your progress. I want you to stop trying to do all the things. Stop doing all the things. And I want you to stop trying to do them perfectly. I want you to stop being hard on yourself and any missteps. And I want you to stop comparing your journey to others in all aspects, whether it's around your health, whether it's around your career, whether it's around relationships. Stop comparing yourself to others. Not helpful. So I want you to remind yourself while you're here that the speed of implementation is all well and good. And it's also true. But if your foundation is shaky, you will repeatedly find yourself being tripped up. You'll stop believing in yourself. You'll feel like your success will never happen. And then you'll find yourself again trying to muster the willpower to take on this thing that feels insurmountable. And finding that willpower again and again is really difficult. And there's almost it's a reproaching feeling. Like, I don't even want to do this again. I'm so mad it hasn't worked out, or I don't believe enough in myself to let it happen. And so there's all this pent up stuff that goes along with it. So I like to think of it a little bit like this. It's like you're trying to start a car. This is your goal. You're trying to reach that goal. You're trying to start your car without the key. If you don't have the key, you might be able to hotwire a solution for a little bit, but over time, this isn't going to be a sustainable solution, right? Like, you won't be able to lock the car because how would you get into it? Because you don't have the keys, and then over time, will like the wires get frayed? Something's going to happen. And so that inevitably is when you stall. That's when things don't pan out. And so what I really want for you is I want you to give yourself the ability to have grace. I'm just checking to see if anybody is on here that has any questions. If you're on here, let me know. Oh, now I can hear myself. That's not what I want. Okay, great. Thank you for the couple of you that have reached out. Feel free to add questions. I will check the questions later. All right. So before we get started, I want you to call in the ability to allow, the ability to receive, the ability to own, accept, and trust from outside sources, not just within yourself. Within yourself, yes, 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 but also call the outside forces in to help you do this. You are deserving of all of that. And so call the forces in and trust them to help you so that you can move forward without worry and fear of what going after these goals might mean. Because going after goals is so it's part of our heart. And when we don't reach those goals, it can feel very wounding, and we can feel very much less than, and continue to instead focus on patterns and habits that aren't helpful because that's what we're used to. So I'm asking you to allow yourself to step into a new way of being in service to yourself, right? This is for you. So before you get started, I want you to stand up. So if you're watching this later, you can pause this recording and you can go up and dance your little heart out. I want you to shake. I want you to jump. I want you to move the energy within yourself so that you can get into your body. Because part of what this is all about is getting into your intuition. You need to know what it is you actually want and what might be stopping you. And sometimes that's in your subconscious. Sometimes it's not on the surface. So we're going to talk about that a little bit deeper. So jump, dance, shake it out, like do something to get the energy going and moving so that you can start to be in a different place. Many of you have taken exercise classes. Many of you have done yoga. And when you move your body, once you're done moving your body, it allows you to sit more comfortably, to sit more and be able to focus. If you're just sitting there and the energy is feeling stalled and stagnant, you're not going to be able to be in touch with the areas that you need to get in touch with. So shake it out, jump up and down, sing, scream, punch a pillow, like whatever is going to get that energy moving. I want you to do that. So do it now. If you're if you're actually watching right now, just do it. And if you're watching later, just pause this, put on your favorite music, because also we want not only your body to get this sort of boost, but the actual energy of the environment around you, because we want all of the energy. I'm all about energy. We want all of the energy to be in service and in alignment and focus with what we're going after here right now. And so if we aren't giving ourselves the proper tune-up in all the senses, we might have a harder time finding what we're looking for. Okay. So if you haven't, do a little more dancing. And if you already have, then let's get into it. All right. So right now, I want you to have a pen and paper. If you haven't gotten it already, grab a journal, just grab paper, a pen. If you are good on your computer, you can do it there. Whatever is going to be the best for you, okay? And now I want you to write down 3 to 5 health and wellness goals. Just 3 to 5 of them. Or if you have one and you know what it is, then that's good. Step 2, I want you to identify one of those goals that is like, this is the one I want to go after right now. Just one. You can circle it. You can put a star next to it. You can just write it over and over and repeat it. Bring it into your awareness. All right. So now here's where we get into the more woo-woo part. I want you to breathe deeply. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to breathe in deeply all the way into your bones. And I want you to think about this goal. And with your eyes closed still, I want you to reflect on why you want to achieve this goal. What's the why? It's really important to have our why. And when you start to have a sense for that, then I want you to blink your eyes open and I want you to jot down why. Why is this goal important? What's it going to do for me? How am I going to show up in the world when I've achieved this goal? What is it about when you make this goal? What's it going to mean for you? If you're making it about what it will mean to others, you might have a hard time here. Make it about what it's going to mean to you. All right. Now, I want you to take another deep breath. Put your pen down. Just take another deep breath. And you could have probably written more, and you should go back and do that later. But take a deep breath in. And now close your eyes. Connect to this why, connect to this goal. And now let's sniff out. And I want you to really sniff out all the reasons why you either cannot achieve these goals, or why it is too difficult, or what has been holding you back. Really breathe into that. Honor it, notice it. Breathe into the why. Has this not worked out before? What are those things? The roadblocks, the struggles. What are they? Now take a really deep breath again. Breathe all the way into the bones and exhale all the way from the bones back through the muscles and the tissues. And ask yourself, am I being 100% honest with myself right now about what has been keeping me from actually going after these goals or from meeting the goals? Great job. Now take one more deep breath. And now evaluate, and here's this is tricky, guys. Now evaluate if the reasons you have identified are actually excuses, or if they're real roadblocks, like you don't actually have the skills or tools that you need just yet. So are they just excuses, or are they real roadblocks to your success? Now I need you to remind yourself to do a gut check because some of the things that feel very, 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 very real are just beliefs of our own making. So I need you to, is this just a belief? Is this just something you were told from your family, from friends, from a teacher, somebody in power? Or is this like a real thing that is keeping you from moving forward on your goals? Our beliefs, our mind is so unbelievably powerful. And so you need to understand, if you have a deep-seated belief that I am never going to heal, I am never able to do this. If only it was like this, then it would be okay for me to do whatever. If I actually were to heal, would I lose my relationship? Like, what are these beliefs that are keeping you from actually going after your goals? So take a moment and jot down some notes here. And again, be 100% honest with yourself. You're the only one who's going to see these. You can be honest with yourself. Okay, next. If the items are excuses, I want you to please ask yourself, am I scared that if I achieve my goals, something bad might happen? If I achieve my goals, something bad might happen. Do you believe that? If that's the case, I just want you to jot a note next to that. Is it true? Is it really true? Next, do I actually want this goal? Like, do I really want this goal? I thought I did when I started this process, but do I really want it? Or is it actually something else that I want? And I'm making this about, like I'm swapping it out. Like, is there something else you actually want? and this isn't it. Ask yourself, what would it mean if I achieve it? A lot of people are scared to achieve their goals because if they achieve their goals, the people around them might treat them differently. The people around them might pick on them because they've suddenly reached their goals and the other person isn't, or people aren't feeling like they're actually able, and they want to bring you back down to where they are so they can feel comfortable. So what would it mean if you achieve it? Would it mean that you'd have to let go of some relationships? Would it mean that you need to change something else about your life? That's big stuff. And that big stuff can feel scary as hell and keep you feeling stuck because you don't know how to move through it. Yeah. So, again, is there something scary lurking behind the goal, even though you want this goal so much? Like, let's say, for example, that you have wanted to get more fit. But let's say in your history, you had some really uncomfortable things happen to you when you were really fit. We won't go into any detail. But if that is true, being fit equals bad shit's going to happen. Scary to go there. If that's not the case, is there something else that I rather have instead? Is this my goal or is this someone else's goal? Maybe it's their goal for me, or maybe it was their goal, but they pushed it on me and I feel like it's supposed to be mine. That can happen in families sometimes, or like really close friends or partners. Is it your goal? If it's your goal, let's just be really solid in that. Okay, so now just set your pen down and come back to that deep breath. Sometimes I'll give you a different kind of breath. Sometimes it's just nice to have like a melting sensation from the crown of the head all the way down through the soles of the feet. Just really getting into the body, allowing it. I love the word luscious. If this doesn't work for you, just toss it. But just allowing yourself to really get into your body and feel really good. So breathe in and honor what you're feeling. Allow yourself to relax even when there might be tension or friction based off of what this goal might mean for you. Good. All right, so you can pick up your pen again. And now, with this sort of renewed awareness around the goal, what have you gained? What do you now know? Or what do you know, like you're almost knowing, but you needed more time? This hasn't been enough. Maybe you need more time to sit with this. But what do you almost know, or what information have you gained from yourself, from this intuition of yours, from your gut, from your heart? Review the goal now. And does it make sense to continue working through this goal? If the answer is yes, are there resources you need to tap into to break down any subtle subconscious fears before you attempt to achieve this goal on your own? Are there any specific skills? Do you need to go back to school? Is there something that you want to learn and you need to do some online sleuthing to find a class that will give you the experience that you're looking for? Is there a mentor that you want to reach out to? Look at that, because remember, we can't actually start the car and keep going if we don't have the keys. So this is the same idea. We need to get your foundation set. So that means we need to know, what are we working with? And that's why we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. If it's something we really truly want, but we're just really scared, we need to get over the fear, and we might need support. Maybe you need a therapist. Maybe you need to see your doctor about something. Like, what tools, what people, what resources, and write those down. So if yes, you need extra resources, there's people you need to reach out to, or classes you want to take, or books you want to read, write that list now. And if you're realizing this isn't my goal, you want to go back to the top and move right through it again with the new goal you've identified, to make sure that it is really a foundational goal that will set you up for success. All right. So now, when you have the goal that you want to work on, this is the biggest thing that's going to help, is you have to break it down into the smallest of pieces. A lot of us have heard this idea that you need to do something for 21 days to create a real habit, or to create positive and a positive change, affect change, right? But that's actually not true, because some people are way more successful with their goals than other people. And it's also just not about willpower. Willpower is helpful, but you actually need to set yourself up for success by creating patterns in your lives, so that you can link certain behaviors and habits together so that you are more successful. How many of us have a mobile phone and we have instilled notifications for everything, and you've gotten to the point where you don't even pay attention to the notifications? Raise your hand. How many of us have asked somebody else to keep us on task? And so we're relying on someone else from somewhere else, an external prompt, to get us to do the thing. And how does that pan out? Not so great. Even if the person is really good at reminding you, sometimes we just get really irritated. Like, I don't need you telling me what I know I need to do for myself. I can take care of myself. There's lots of things that can kind of go haywire here. So instead, you need to link your new habit or routine or ritual, those are the words I like to use, to something else you already do all the time. So, for example, if you work out every day, so here's the thing, I want you to consider how you can weave this into your day with something you're already doing. So, let's say that you are trying to start a journaling routine. A lot of us are trying to start a journaling routine. Journaling is so amazing because it helps you tap into that connection with yourself. It gives you time to process, time to just be focused on your needs. There's so many benefits to journaling. But let's say you've really struggled with journaling, like when to do it, how to be consistent with it, but you have created a workout routine for yourself that is steadfast. Then here's a way to break it down into a small piece. Take your journal and pen and place it next to your workout clothes. Then after you've gotten all ready to do your workout, you can write one sentence and be really proud of yourself for actually making the time and effort to write one sentence. If you have more time, you write a couple more. Or you do it right after your workout. And then you write one sentence, and then you do this every day consistently until you have a little more time and you write a couple sentences, or you spend time writing a whole page or 3 pages. But allow it to be small. Allow yourself to be successful, and allow yourself to buy into the fact that this is something now you're doing day in and day out, day in and day out. And if you miss a day, you don't beat yourself up for it. Instead, you say, I missed my journaling. Then you can journal right in that moment if you want, or you can make another time later that day to journal, or you can just say, oh, I love my journaling and I am so excited to do it tomorrow. And then keep recommitting instead of bashing yourself, instead of reprimanding yourself, instead of making the fact that you did this and then missed a day or skipped a day or whatever happened because life, now I just can't do it because I can't show up for myself. Yes, you can. Make it simple and allow it to feel big. Okay. Some of you have heard me say that before. Just make it simple, allow it to feel big, and it's going to transform how you feel about things. All right. So I'm going to recap that. You are going to consider, like, once you figured out what your goal is, you want to make it small. So if it's journaling, as an example, you're going to make it small. Consider how you're going to weave it into your day. When is it going to happen? How will you remind yourself? Well, if you're pairing it with something you already do hands down, no problem. And that thing, when you do it, you are going to celebrate. Because as you celebrate, you're going to have these feel good endorphin feelings, and you're going to want to do more of that. And you're going to start feeling better about yourself, and you're going to start trusting yourself that you can actually show up for yourself. And as you do these little things, bigger things come. Now, I'm just using journaling as an example, but if your goal is something a lot bigger, let's say it's really, really huge. I'm not sure exactly what that would be, but let's just even say that let's say you're trying to write a novel. I know there's writers in here, or some of you are artists, like you're going to work on some sort of piece. When are you going to allow yourself time to be creative? When is it going to happen? Life gets in the way. So how are you going to build that in? And if some of you creatives, because I'm creative too, and when I need to write stuff, I can get so stuck and stalled, especially if I'm supposed to do something for my business, for you. I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say. Oh my God. You get stuck in that loop. But if you build a routine where every day you just allow yourself a small pocket of time to get to that creative spot that gives you the most boon, that's going to build, and the momentum of you doing the little thing. So if it's really hard for you to be creative on a dime, because it is for so many of us, that's okay. You still want to pick a spot in your house. You still want to, sit there or be physically active there, or look at your writing utensils, or if you have kind of mapped things out about the characters, you want to kind of think about them, imagine them, visualize, give yourself those little pockets of time. And as it grows, you will be there, and you will give yourself more and more time for it, because you're going to love it. You're going to feel inspired, and it's going to happen. You'll also want to visualize the fact that the book is done and people are reading it and they're writing rave reviews. But, visualizing is really important as well. But let's just keep it really small as we're creating these tiny, tiny little habits that are simple. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I covered it. So once you do the activity, habit, or goal, you're going to celebrate. And a reminder, instead of beating yourself up if it doesn't look the way you want it to look, you are going to celebrate. You are going to pat yourself on the back. You are going to allow yourself to feel really good about what you did do, because doing something is better than nothing. And allowing yourself to feel good feels way better than berating yourself and giving your, like, as I was saying somewhere else in the last day, like giving yourself mental lashings, like allowing yourself instead to be in awe of your little brilliance and celebrate your body, celebrate, what you did. Maybe it's like, I'm trying to reach out more socially with friends and family, and you called someone on the phone, like whatever it is, give yourself a break and allow it to be awesome, because that is going to be a game changer. Okay. So now the thing that I want you to do is I want you to commit to this one goal for now. Commit to this one goal for now. Once you've got the tiny piece down, then you can add little increments to it. And depending on how easy it's feeling, you can keep adding to it. Once it gets too hard or overwhelming or something happens, that's the trick. You need to pull back, go back to where it was still feeling easy, and then slowly build up to it. Or that means you need to pivot and change it a little bit so that it works for you. You have to make it work for you. You can't be doing something that somebody else tells you because that works for them. You could try it. If it works, fantastic. But you have to honor the fact that you are an individual. When I started out as a health coach, one of the biggest things that I was really all about, and the reason why I went to the training that I did was that everyone's an individual, everyone's unique, everyone's body needs something a little bit differently. And the idea is you have to learn to trust yourself, learn to trust your needs. Just because something worked for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, or it doesn't mean it's going to look the same way as it did for them. Also, we don't know the inner workings of other people. So that's why we come back to one of those points that I had earlier about the timeline. Allow yourself to be on your journey and don't focus on anybody else's. Again, if you need assistance, if you need support, yes, call that in. But even the most supportive loved one or guide isn't you. So you always have to come back to, okay, they offered me this advice. How does it land? How does it feel? I liked this bit. I didn't care for that bit. I'm just going to toss it out. I don't even need to worry about it. I don't need to think about it. It's none of my business. I'm going to focus on what feels right for me and do it. So come back and trust yourself, and over and over and over. And then as you get this goal down, and maybe it's something you continue for your whole life, then you can start adding other things in different pockets. But first, practice this. Practice owning the fact that, is this goal really accurate and in alignment with what you truly want? Are there fears behind it? And if there's stuff that you need to work on before you even can start on that goal, allow yourself to bring that shit forward. Bring it up, bubble it up, let it out so that you can become the best version of yourself. Because you're the one ultimately who has to do this work. Ultimately, you're accountable to yourself and your desires and needs and wants. And so allow yourself to hold all of that. Like, that's a lot. That's complicated. It can be dark and heavy. It could be light and joyful. And all of it together makes you this beautiful, complicated, soulful, amazing human. So do not discount yourself for stumbling. Don't discount yourself because it didn't work before. Don't discount yourself because Sandy said I couldn't do it, or, whatever. Allow yourself instead to have hope. Allow yourself instead to visualize what it could be, the possibility. Because living in this world is hard enough if we are hopeless. Okay, if we're hopeless, if we feel aimless, if we feel like nothing can ever work out for us in our favor, that is more of what we're going to get. I'm going to talk about that at another time. But I want you to be honoring yourself day in and day out. So as we close this time together, I just want you to go ahead and take another deep breath. Relax your shoulders from your ears, maybe lengthen your spine, giving yourself a little chin tuck. And just feel a bunch of gratitude in your heart for the fact that you made time to think about your goals, to contemplate what's the real goal behind it, where the messy parts are, the things that are keeping you from where you're wanting to go, and allow yourself to breathe into gratitude, knowing that you can do this. It could feel scary, it could feel different or difficult, but you can do this, and that it doesn't need to be done today, that it is on its way. It is coming into its fullness, and you are growing into your fullness, into your magnificence, into your awesome, and that it is a process, and that the process is what makes you unique. And the process, no matter how messy or icky or gross it feels, is still a place of growth. So allow yourself to grow instead of being stuck in the mud. Thank you so much for coming today. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. If you are watching this as a replay, you can do a hashtag replay and ask your questions. I am making the accompanying ebook, so you don't have to listen to all of this if you are not into listening to the audio and you just want all the prompts. That is coming, and I will post that in here, and I will give you the opportunity to access that. Thank you so much for today. I'm here for you, and I trust that you are able to do this, and I give you permission to show up fully as yourself, even if it's scary, because I promise you, this is how you are going to heal so deeply. All right. Bye.